Alright, I wanted to quickly showcase Season 13 closed beta Vengeance Paladin with some budget gear and some in-game gear. So, using Gimmer Shred, Kira's, I went with Fire Facets, and I didn't realize until much later that I didn't have Cannot Be Frozen, so I threw a Cham in there. High Lords, Alma Negra for the reduced cooldown on Joust. It just feels better when you can teleport more often. Corpsemorn, again, Fire Facets in the helmet and in the armor. Frostburns for additional pierce. Stone of Jordan for added lightning damage, although any +1 rings would do. String of Ears for a little bit of PDR. And some Silkweaves for the mana per kill to help with sustain. Got some combat skillers, life and res charms, and a torch and an Annie. We're going to be running 112 density cow map. On swap, CTA, just a lidless. Mercenary, beast, so we can hit our breakpoint. Exile for Defiance Aura, and then some PDR gear, some caster gear. A little bit of extra damage from the Nightwings for the Cold Merc. Skills. You'll notice I have a point in a Holy Sword. That's because I'm also going to be testing with Zenith. But you want at least a point into Holy Shield and Holy Sword. Holy Sword for when you upgrade to a 2-hand, or you can respec. You'll max Vengeance. I put enough points into Joust to where I noticed there was diminishing returns. So I stopped, I think, when this got to 1.5. Maybe I just put 8 points in it. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, max Vengeance. You'll max Conviction, as that's going to be your aura that you're going to be running on your left click. Holy Fire is a synergy for Vengeance. Holy Freeze, synergy for Vengeance. I put my remaining points into Holy Shock, and I didn't put anything in Defiance. I guess if you're starting out, you could flick between Conviction and Redemption to get the mana and life back from Redemption. I just didn't do that because, I mean, it's testing on beta. That's it. Like I said, for pre-BO, left click, you're going to want Conviction, so that way you can just hold right click. And then I have, on my mouse, I have a side button there that will allow me to joust. And that's it. It feels really, really strong. You can see how frequently I can just teleport in. The damage, 150k. I'm pretty much indestructible. I have no sustain issues. You can just teleport from pack to pack. Plus, Corpsemorn gives you all of these skellies for additional survivability. Feels insanely strong. And if I teleport into a big pack, you'll see how big that radius is. Like, look at that. That whole screen in 2 hits. The Merc surviving as well. You can kill... Merc surviving no problem. You can kill everything in 1 or 2 hits. It's very strong, and I know it's not super budget, but, I mean, any Kira's will do. Any Corpsemorn will do. It doesn't have to be 3 sockets on these. Just as long as you get Cannot Be Frozen. But it's pretty cheap, considering Beast is a Burr rune, and this is a Vex and an Ohm. I feel like that's pretty inexpensive. Granted, I do have a lot of life skillers, but even with, if I had 1200 life, you saw sustain's really not a problem here. Let me see what happens when I teleport in. I'm standing still and I'm just not taking damage. See, I still haven't hit yet. But the prayer aura makes it to where when you right click and attack with Vengeance, as you kill things, you're getting that life per hit back from the prayer aura. So overall, that feels really, really, really solid. And I decided I'd also want to test with Zenith since Zenith received +2. It was +2 to skills. Now it's +3 to skills. Um, I do have 2 sockets used in Alma Negra to get that perfect res. So without it, you're not quite at perfect res. But that's kind of solved with the Zenith, because you get the Salvation Aura. So Salvation adds magic damage, elemental damage to your attacks. Plus, Zenith gives you a bunch of elemental damage there as well, along with ignore target's defense. Now, believe it or not, I mean, this is more budget than Zenith. Zenith being a Jaw and Zod, but the thing is like I almost prefer the one hand setup with the shield because you get that cooldown reduction from the joust. So let me showcase this as well. Let's rebind this to Holy Sword, and let's re-BO. It'll play very similarly. You know, you just joust. You do more damage, tooltip wise. We're sitting at 16k. I'll leave that up so you can see it a little better. That's the tooltip there. As you can see, pretty much everything dies in a hit. And our joust, I think, is on 1.5 second cooldown. It's not bad. But even still, like, I'll teleport into this group, look at my HP, the mercenary surviving, and all I have to do to get my HP up is right click. Look at that. That's one attack. And now I'm full HP again. So, no sustain issues. Everything dies in one hit with this setup. And it's very, very strong. But even the more budget version is strong as well, so I didn't test single target. I'm gonna go test that now. You also get movement speed when you joust, which is kind of nice. Alright. Try to clear out some of this so I can see a little better what the single target looks like. Look at the damage though, isn't that crazy? Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not super fast. It's not a boss killer, but I mean, it's good for AoE. All right, well, that's all I got, guys. Let me know if you have questions. You can leave them in the comments. I think for me though, I prefer the Gimmer Shred setup. It's cheaper. This doesn't have to be ETH either. It adds a little bit more physical damage, but that doesn't matter. You know, you're pure Ellie. I'm sure there's many different ways you can build this out too. This is just the way I prefer. I like the Silk Weaves for the mana per kill. I like the Act 3 Merc for the sustain you get from the life per hit on the prayer. Overall, I think it's a pretty cheap build considering how well it does. Averaging 150k DPS, I just think it's a really, really solid build. I think it even outperforms Phoenix Strike, which is like a sister build to the Vengeance Paladin. But yeah, let me know if you guys have questions. Thanks.